It's noon in the middle of summer. If you stand in an open parking lot, the sun overhead is a harsh blast of raw radiation. But walk just a few feet into a dense forest, and that same light becomes something entirely different. We tend to think of a tree canopy as a giant passive umbrella. We treat it like a static physical barrier that does nothing more than block the sun and cast a dark shadow underneath. The canopy functions as an active biophysical filter. It tears apart the electromagnetic spectrum, absorbing, reflecting, and transforming the physical and thermal properties of sunlight before it ever reaches the ground. Most of us spend our days under flat artificial ceilings, completely severed from this dynamic environment. We sit in climate-controlled rooms, bathed in static blue light, entirely disconnected from the natural solar rhythms our bodies evolved to expect. To understand the scale of this biological deprivation, we have to look at what actually happens when light hits a leaf, tracking a single photon's physical journey from the sky straight down to your skin. When a photon travels 93 million miles and finally strikes a tree, it hits a highly engineered optical surface. The uppermost layer of a green leaf is packed with chloroplasts, the microscopic engines responsible for photosynthesis. They rapidly absorb intense blue and red wavelengths of light, converting that specific energy into the chemical fuel the plant needs to grow. Green light isn't absorbed efficiently, so it slips through gaps between organelles, the sieve effect. Inside the spongy tissue, it bounces through air pockets, the detour effect. This scattering ensures deeper chloroplasts catch the remaining energy. Visible light is only part of the equation. Half of solar radiation arrives as near-infrared light. This invisible energy carries intense heat, and if the leaf absorbed it, the plant tissue would literally cook. To survive, the leaf's internal air pockets act as microscopic mirrors, refracting and scattering this near-infrared radiation back into the atmosphere. This infrared reflection spike is so distinct that satellites use it to measure global plant health, marking a boundary known as the red edge. The leaf functions as a thermodynamic shield, selectively capturing energy for fuel while shedding the dangerous heat it cannot use. Standing beneath the branches, you are bathed in the byproduct of this entire system. You receive a scattered, cooled, and highly curated light field. Without the harsh glare of direct sun, this filtered light provides the perfect ambient brightness to trigger specialized receptors in your retina. These cells don't form visual images. Their sole job is to measure light levels, align your brain's internal clock, and regulate your sleep cycle. At the same time, this high-contrast outdoor light prompts your retina to release dopamine. This chemical signal acts as a structural brake, preventing the eyeball from physically elongating during childhood, stopping the development of nearsightedness or myopia. Even the invisible light that slips through the canopy plays a vital role. Safe, scattered trace amounts of ultraviolet B radiation penetrate the leaves and strike your skin, synthesizing a cholesterol molecule into vitamin D. In this diagram of nitric oxide pathways, focus on the center photolytic section. Filtered ultraviolet A light hits your skin, breaking down chemical stores to release nitric oxide into your bloodstream. This dilates blood vessels, physically lowering your systemic blood pressure within minutes. Our physiological baselines are completely intertwined with this environment. From the structure of our eyes to the pressure inside our veins, human biology relies on these triggers. Tree limbs and human blood vessels share a branching logic, both designed by evolution to maximize transport and surface area across a three-dimensional volume. This connection extends to our shared chemistry. Up in the canopy, green chlorophyll captures sunlight to release oxygen. Down below, red hemoglobin within our blood catches that exact same oxygen to keep us moving. We are entirely downstream participants in a massive, continuous, solar-driven thermodynamic cascade. Energy flows from the star, is filtered by the leaf, enters the air, and breathes life into our cells. For millions of years, our nervous systems evolved to expect this specific, tree-filtered energy flow. We were not designed for the static lighting, flat temperatures, and sensory deprivation of modern indoor life. Walking into a forest provides a literal biological homecoming for your nervous system.